Good morning, folks. We'll get officially started about 11:03 as usual. We know that people will start joining on here. I had put in the chat that John Decker is traveling out of area for a conference, and he will join us again next week. So you'll be hosted by our community services managers and Michelle Johnson, our client director, this morning. So we'll get started in just a few moments. Some folks that I'd like to say good morning to. We have Odelia, Community Services Specialist. She oversees our adult, mainly SLS and residential, but some of our adult services. I see Dan Kilmer has joined us. He's a CPP, CRDP resource developer. Carol Wilhelm is on, our SLS manager. Good morning, Carol. I see Gary. Good morning, Gary. Gary oversees our day program and work programs on the community services side. And Miss Helen Neary, our community services manager. Overseeing children, EI, clinical, those types of vendorizations. Good morning, Kate, community services specialist, overseeing some of our transportation and quality assurance matters, actually. And we have Miss Michelle McDonald, who is our new community services manager, overseeing adult and residential services. Good morning to Scott and to Jason. They're both in our community services, adult and residential services. Scott's a QA and Jason usually focuses on SLS and some day programs, but mostly SLS, I believe. If I said that wrong, you can correct me, Jason. So good morning, everyone. Just to let you know, we do have a variety of topics we're going to chat with you about today, but John Decker will be back next week, and he's going to go over the 2022-2023 trailer bill language that we just got from DDS this past week. So he'll be going over that in length with the team next Friday. And I see Hewitt's on. Good morning, Hewitt, our emergency prepared coordinator. And Dana just joined us. She's one of our client services managers on the adult side. Also see that Carly, our employment specialist, has joined us. Good morning, Carly. And Nicole. Good morning, Nicole. She handles some of our children's vendorizations and some of our clinical vendorizations. And good morning to Rima, our deaf and hard of healing specialist. And of course, Zach is the fabulous executive assistant who helps John keep it all organized on that side. So good morning, folks. We'll give people about one more minute and then we'll get started. All right, so good morning, folks. Welcome to Coffee with Community Services. My name is Jordan Eller, and I'm one of the 3 community services managers here at the Regional Center, reporting to John Decker. So as I mentioned, for folks who just got on, John can't be with us, but he will be returning next Friday. So we have a variety of updates, but we're going to start with Michelle McDonald. She's going to give you an update on our home community-based services specialist.
Forgot to unmute myself. Good morning, everyone. Just wanted to let everybody know update. So Cindy Lay she was our HCBS specialist. So she will be transferring to her new role as a client service manager. So our specialist, Christy Schaefer, has agreed to kind of support the team going forward with HCBS, working with the vendors and also our staff. If you have any questions regarding the HCBS process, we do have an inbox, and I will I'll put that in the chat. It is hcbs@altaregional.org, and Christy Schaefer again will be the one supporting at this time.
Excellent. Thank you so much,
Zach, for putting that in the chat.
Oh, perfect. Thank you so much, Zach. All right, so the next update which is very exciting for some of our residential vendors, is I'll share my screen here to give you guys a little info. Isabella Vega, one of our community services specialists, she has arranged for the Department of Labor to come in and give a residential training to folks. So really what they're going to be looking at is really all the rules and regulations for, basic employment coverage, minimum wage, overtime, youth employment, and record keeping. So that's going to be on October 27th from 10 to 12. And if you are a residential vendor, you should have been sent this via email with the sign up link. So if there's folks that did not get the link that need the link, please go ahead and put your name in the chat. And if, as long as you're a residential service provider, and we will get you the WebEx link to attend next week. So hope to see folks out. That's a great training opportunity. Any questions about that training opportunity? All right. Next update, which is very exciting. Dan Kilmer continues to work on our housing development matters, and we have the Marisol Village project, which is a multifamily home project, right? So I know that over the year you guys have been getting updates on that, but at this point, we hope that construction of Block A at Marisol Village is completed by the end of December, with a goal for clients to move into the 15 units in January of 2023. So over the past couple weeks, Dan's been working with planning teams to get the clients' applications all together. Majority of those have been submitted to John Stewart for that, and then they are now setting up formal interviews for the 15 identified clients to get accepted to move into these properties. So Dan, if I missed anything, let me know, but it's just such an exciting time to see this coming to fruition and clients getting, an opportunity at a permanent housing and a multifamily home development. So we're very excited about those opportunities.
Yeah, I know. This comes on the heels of a few years ago, our stakeholders had expressed, a need for more affordable housing. And so this came out of our stakeholders' need for more housing. And so now we're at the point where our clients are able to move in soon. So that's very exciting. And what Jordan did mention that we also have other housing opportunities coming up probably in the next 2 to 3 years. We have one that's already in the works. So so housing continues to be a need, and we're exploring, we always continue to explore other housing options and developments for our clients.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Yeah, the upcoming project that John is referring to is with Able Light, right? It's called the Cornerstone Project. You guys are welcome to look up Cornerstone Able Light on the internet, but it's right out in Elk Grove, and we're going to be securing 20 units. Marisol has 15, so looking at trying to get 20 units for Elk Grove. So very exciting stuff that Dan is working on. Thank you very much, Dan. And then the next update that we have is regarding the ILS vendor forum. So I'll pass it over to Michelle McDonald again.
Okay, so we had an ILS vendor forum yesterday. There were several discussions regarding the ILS rates, and Rebecca from STEP and also Michelle Hernandez from All My Own ILS are in the process of organizing some meetings and events to kind of come together for ILS vendors and discuss those rates. Rebecca from STEP is going to provide us with a flyer, so we'll make sure we get that to you guys. I did reach out to Michelle. I don't know if Michelle Hernandez, are you on at all? Okay, so she might not be on. So I did reach out just for some clarification for a meeting she's planning on the 6th of December. So I will make sure to get that information to you guys. We also discussed the service standards, and we kind of talked about those. Alta Regional is looking into updating those service standards, and we also discussed just meeting with the providers when we're looking at updating that, so we can get your guys' input as well. And then we also discussed the performance contract. I know Michelle's going to touch on that a little bit. And we just kind of discussed as far as ILS and offering, any suggestions they have for that. And then Jordan, I know the next on the agenda is also our SLS vendor forum. So I just wanted to update everybody that that is scheduled for October 27th from 2 to 3 o'clock. If you would like to attend, let me know. They have sent out to all the SLS vendors, but if you did not receive that link, I'll put my email in the chat so you can let me know and I'll get that to you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Michelle. Any questions on either of those topics? All right, then we'll move on to Helen Neary. I know Helen has a few updates for us, some regarding SDP and service standards for, I think, independent facilitators, and then also talking about the grants for enhanced community integration. So Helen, we'll pass the mic over to you.
Right. So to help our clients transition from traditional services to the self-determination program, we will have a new service code. It is 099 for self-directed services, self-directed support. And it will be split between FMS, self-directed support, and just general self-directed support. So it will allow our clients to have those that are transitioning from traditional services to SDP have about maximum 40 hours support, but that can be more if the client, is from the is dealing with language barrier or don't have family that can help them fill out the paperwork. So we will be coming out with an RFP for that 099 service code soon. No definite date yet, but that should be coming down the pike. And then last month, I came and talked with you guys about the service access and equity grant opportunities that is doubled, to 22 million this year. Now, the state has another grant available for social recreation programs. The target population, though, are those that are culturally and linguistically diverse communities. The goal of the program is to increase social rec programs that are inclusive and target our diverse population. And so that grant is 12.5 million around the state. For our Altos population, it's stated or estimated right now at 786,000. So those providers that are interested in putting together a social recreation program that kind of meets this grant, the criteria of the grant, you guys are encouraged to apply. The grant is, and more will be talked about, like Jordan said, in the next coffee with community service, just talking about the mechanics of it.
Thank you so much, Helen. That's exciting. It looks like we have a question in the chat. Where can they find more information about this grant? And I know that that DDS, right, has put out a directive regarding that.
Yes.
So if we'll find the location on the DDS website for you guys, and then we can put that in the chat for you.
Yeah.
So
And Jordan, like I said, and I think next week
Sean
we'll
wants
have
to go
more
over it.
because it is we'll do the RFP. Regional centers are going to vet the grant, so but DDS is the final approver, but most of the processes and the reporting, all of those will be done by the regional centers.
Thank you, Helen, so much. And it is a DDS directive. It's dated October 14th. And it's entitled Grants for Enhanced Community Integration for Children and Adolescent Guidelines. So that will be on the DDS website. If you go under transparency, right, they have the directive section, so you'll be able to find it there. All right. And then I believe I saw Michelle McDonald pop on. There she is. I did see Michelle McDonald. Hi, Michelle. She is our Director of Client Services. I mean, Michelle Johnson. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Getting my Michelle and Michelle mixed up. Sorry about that. Mrs. Johnson, if you can go over with us, see your little items on the agenda, that'd be great. Thank you so much.
All right, good morning, everybody. I've got the next 3 items on the agenda. So the first is about our performance contract. I wanted to share that we are developing planned activities for our 2023-2024 performance contract. We want your ideas about what else we can do to meet and exceed the public policy measures. We will be presenting the performance contract at the Board of Directors meeting on November 17th. And we're requesting your feedback by October 31st. There is a dedicated email, performance contract feedback at altaregional.org. And when I'm finished talking, I'll drop the links in the chat so that you can see these items that are posted on our website. The second item is about our conservatorship policy. We have drafted a policy and we're seeking feedback from community and stakeholders. The policy is posted on our website as well, along with where to direct your feedback. Again, we're requesting feedback by October 31st, and I'll drop the link in the chat when I'm done. And the third item is the Department of Developmental Services uses National Core Indicators, also known as NCI, to monitor the performance of our service system. And so we will be reviewing our NCI data at the next Board of Directors meeting, which is November 17th. Again, I'll drop the link in the chat. Registration is required, but if you're interested in NCI, please come to our next board meeting on November 17th. And that's all I've got.
All right. And Michelle, while you were chatting, I was able to get the link in for the performance contract. So,
Okay. Thanks, Jordan.
yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. Next thing I wanted to give you guys an update on is that, so I know that we've talked about over the past couple weeks that it's that time of year for us to be developing our community resource development plan and our community placement plan. So over the past 2 weeks, we had sent out the stakeholder survey. We're very excited. We got approximately 109 surveys completed by our stakeholders this year. Last year only got 51, so we doubled the amount of input that we got from our stakeholders. So we're very excited about that. We are currently analyzing that data, and we have a public hearing next Tuesday from, I think it's 1 to 1:30. Hold on just 1 second. I apologize. I didn't have that ready. But where we will be sharing what the stakeholders' priorities were and the data that we have been able to analyze from those surveys. So that is going to be from 1:30 to approximately 3 o'clock on October 20. Sorry, my apologies. It's going to be from 1 to 2:30 on the 25th. And I can put the link in the chat here. But if you guys are interested in participating either remotely, we also have the Brenda Smith conference room secured if there's any stakeholders that would like to come in person to hear about the results of the survey. So looking forward to sharing that information with you guys next week. Any questions about that? All right, I'll get that information in the chat. And then the last main agenda item that we have is regarding State Council on Developmental Disability is working on phasing out sub minimum wage. So I'm going to share my screen so I can show you guys their flyer here. But basically, they are really looking at hearing from stakeholders regarding sub minimum wage and looking how to phase out sub minimum wage, right? They really are moving towards trying to ensure that California is an employment first state. So they really want to hear from the stakeholders regarding what is working, right? What isn't working, and what are some possibilities to try to help phase this out. So there's 2 different ways in which that you could provide some feedback, right? There, you can write a letter, and there's a specific email box here. And I'll show you guys, I'll put the link to this website and to this information in the chat. And then there's also a specific online survey that you complete as well. So I'll put both of those into the chat for you. But at this time, is there any questions surrounding that? I will stop sharing my screen here. Okay, I want to put that link in the chat for you guys. So give me just 1 second. So if you guys are interested in writing a letter or filling out the survey, to help them with their goals of phasing out sub-minimum wage. That is the link. And then I also want to make sure, now for individuals who received the announcement about the CRDP stakeholder meeting, there was the link to the remote option. However, if you did not get that, we want to send you that information. So give you this information. This would be for the public hearing next Tuesday. My computer is going to let me copy it. There we go. So always like to see you guys at those public hearings. And then I think, Michelle, is Michelle still on? Yep, she is. Michelle, we did have one question from a vendor last week in regarding if the regional center has any upcoming plans to do another booster clinic for our clients. And I know that Johnny was able to update them last week that service coordinators are definitely educating families and clients regarding the option for the additional booster, but that he hadn't heard of any new clinics that we have in the works at this moment. So I just didn't know if we had anything in the works or if that's something we would be exploring.
Hi. No, I think with the increased availability of the vaccinations in the community, that's not something that we've been, discussing. Again, I feel like that you can just about get a shot anywhere out there in the community, pharmacies, your own, maybe hospital. And then, yeah, so I know that there's a website as well that you can search for a vaccine. And so that might be helpful for folks just to identify what might be nearest them. But there's been no discussion about doing another vaccine clinic just because they're so widely available in the community.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And if any vendors, right, are having an issue finding resources for your clients, please reach out to your service coordinators and so they can assist you with getting the resources needed for the clients. Is there any other agenda items that that any of you guys might have that you wanted to bring up to the group? Any questions? I know I mentioned at the beginning that John Decker will be back next week, and he's going to go over our trailer bill language and the information the guidance that we have received from DDS in order to implement those trailer bill requirements for this fiscal year. So always lots of good information. So perfect. Thank you, Michelle, for putting that information about the vaccine there. Well, if there's no other topics, that's all we had for you today. I really appreciate you guys coming out and joining Coffee with CSS. It's a great way for us to learn more and collaborate. So thank you so much for your time.
It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Bye-bye.
Hi, thank you.
Bye, thank you.
Oh, leave me